Okay, this is a lovely little blast for the core muscles, for the abdominals. So let's not overthink it, let's just get down onto our mats and get it done. Okay, so come down onto your back, feet hip width apart, shoulders down away from the ears. I'm going to set up the timer. We have 40 seconds of work and 20 seconds of rest. In those 20 seconds, I'm going to show you what the next exercise is. So we're starting off with the ab curl. Hands in behind the head. On your out breath, you curl up your head and your shoulders off the floor, drawing that belly button inwards towards the floor and supporting your head with your hands, so you're not feeling this too much in your neck. Still moving nice and slowly and with control, even though we're doing this in a timed way. 5 more seconds, then you're into your rest. Let's do one more. Okay, good. Now for your next exercise, we put our hands in underneath the bum. We're going to stretch out the legs, hovering them along or just a few inches off the floor, and do little flutter kicks, okay? I'll walk you through options if you need them. So legs out and kick the legs up and down, trying not to bend at the knee. Now obviously, if you're feeling any kind of niggles or discomfort in the lower back, which might happen in this exercise because it's quite challenging, you can of course bend the knees, but then just try and move the legs still from the hip with your toes pointed. Or just have a little rest, put your toes down, and then try jumping back into it again. We've got another 13 seconds or so. Keep on breathing. Nearly there. Good, and rest. Okay, hands come out from underneath the bum. Next is our toe taps. So we're going to start with the legs up in our tabletop position. And then keeping our hips and pelvis nice and steady, we're just going to tap down one leg at a time. Okay, breath in, breathe out, lower, hinging at the hip, lift back up. Now sometimes people can find it helpful to have their hands in underneath their bum a little for a wee bit of extra support. If you want an extra challenge, try lowering both legs together. So you're tapping both feet down. It's completely up to you. Last 13 seconds. Watch those shoulders, that they don't start to creep up to the ears as you start to get tired. Good. Feet back down onto the floor. Rest for 20 seconds. Next is a little reverse crunch, okay? So you want to have your hands and arms really pressing hard down into the floor. We're going to bring the knees in towards the tummy and the chest. Big breath in, and then on your out breath, you try to lift your hips and your bum off the floor. Now press down with the arms as well. So we're moving more up into the upper abdominal muscles here. Remember, if any of these are too much, just go back to the ab curl from the beginning and stick with the times for the sets. Last 5 seconds or so here. Do one more. Good. Feet down onto the floor. We're going into a little oblique curl up now. So we're going to do 2 to each side. Okay, so hands come in behind your head. Nice big breath in. Then on your out breath, curl up to the left side twice. And then over to the right side twice. Back to the left. Back to the right. Good, and just keep alternating side to side. Nearly there, 12 more seconds. Last 4, just finish with 1 on each side. Good, okay. Now legs pointing up towards the ceiling, getting them just as straight as you can manage. If you need them bent, it's completely fine. We'll bring the arms out to the sides. And what we're going to do is draw circles on the ceiling with our feet. Okay, big breath in, prepare. And then start to draw circles. Now this can be like a spiral. So the circles get bigger. And as the circles get bigger, the challenge on the core muscles gets bigger as well. So if you want to, you can just keep the circles nice and small, or have them much bigger. Just depends on where you're at. Good. Okay, brilliant. Feet down, we're going to do all of those exercises one more round through and then you're finished, okay? So stick with this. Come on, we can do it, we're nearly there. From now we can say we're officially over halfway through. So hands back behind the head, ready for your ab curl. Breath in and curl up and release. Good, you're gonna feel such a lovely, satisfying muscle soreness in the abdominals after this. Remembering, nice and slow and controlled. Good, last 10 seconds or so. One for luck. Okay, brilliant. Hands underneath your bum. Ready for the flutter kicks. Remembering to adapt if you need to, or leave out if you need to and do something that does work for you. The ab curl is generally a pretty good one, or the toe taps. Ready for your flutter kicks. Legs out and kick up and down, nice and strong. Remembering to breathe. Big, long, deep breaths. Good, keep on going. Remember, bend the knees a little bit if you need to. If there's any sort of soreness in your lower back, just ease back off it. And then try a little bit more if you can. Play around with it, but always being mindful not to push too far or hurt anything in that lower spine area. Good, you're finished. Feet down onto the floor. Ready for your toe taps. So we're gonna lift the legs up into our tabletop position. Keeping the hips nice and steady, not rocking from side to side. Breath in. And then on your out breath, lower right toe down, left toe down. If you want the extra, you try lowering both together, but being really mindful that there's no arching of the middle section of your spine. Stick to one leg at a time if you prefer, or even just lifting and lowering one leg at a time if that's easier for you and feels better on your back. Okay, both feet down, ready for the reverse crunch next. So arms pressing down nice and hard into the floor. Lift the knees in towards the tummy. Toes pointing up towards the ceiling. Big breath in. Breathe out. Try and lift your hips and your bum and the lower back off the floor. Good. Now don't worry again if you're only getting a tiny little bit of height. Everybody's different. You just do what you can do. Good, last 12 seconds. Brilliant. That's an intense one. Good. Oblique curls now. So 2 to the left, 2 to the right. Hands behind the head. Ready, big breath in. And then breathe out. Curl up left, left, and right, and right. Left, and left. Right, and right. Left, left. Good, 15, 14, 30, 12 seconds. Good, the time is going down nice and quickly. You're nearly done. 3, let's do 1 more to each side just to finish. Good, and then now the final exercise is those spiral circles. Okay, so arms on the floor, lifting both legs up towards the ceiling with a bend in the knees if you need, it's not a problem. And then start into those lovely spirals. If you can remember what direction you went the last time, then go the other way. But don't worry if you can't. You're working the whole way around both sides with this exercise. Remember, keep on breathing. Big circles, smaller circles, a mixture of the two, whatever works for you. Allowing the hips and the lower back to lift off the floor. Good. And rest. Just give the knees a nice hug in towards the tummy. Good. And then if you just roll over onto your tummy for a moment, we will stretch out the stomach a little bit. So just coming down onto the floor, hands either side of your chest, and just press up as best you can. Again, not extending too much through the neck, just so you can feel a bit of a stretch across the front of your core, across the abs. Okay, then finish with a little press back, resting in shell stretch or child's pose, whatever you prefer to call it. And just rest there for a couple of breaths. Good, and well done. That is an intense firing up of the core abdominal muscles. So lovely to add on to the end of another session or just to do standing on its own. I really hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.